In the name of Allah, today we'll speak about PHP form records. So, what's form records? Form records from the validation rules table on the previous page that we see that the name, email, and gender fields are required. These fields cannot be empty and must be filled out in the HTML form. So, what it means? Why we use form records or required fields? Sometimes we need to check. We can achieve this goal with HTML also, but HTML will not survive the data validations. Just checks if it's empty or not. It can accept the blank spaces also. So we have some records fields. So in this lecture, we will create a form and also some errors variables also to check for errors. So in the we have new variables: name error, email error, gender error, website error, and some others. So when you go on some websites, they provide some validations. If you miss misspell some fields, they show us that it's not correct or this field should be filled. How we can achieve this? We can use the empty function from PHP. In PHP, we have a empty function. We use that for checking if the field is empty or not. The field that we have received is empty or not empty. How we can achieve this? So there's a code. I will copy paste this one. That's why I will not write it once again. So we have some variables: name error, email error, gender error, and website error. So the name, email, gender, and comment website also, they are all empty values. Then if server request method is post, if server request method is post, then if empty post name, if the post name is empty, the name error will have a value that is name is required. Name is required. Then the same way we continue for our test input and others to check them if they are felt or not felt. So and also if we for others also, then we will display these errors. We will display these errors. Let me copy this form first and then paste this form inside the our page, inside our test form dot. So from this place from to this place I will comment this one. I will comment. So why comment? Because we already have a form. We already have a form. We don't need this form. So we will create another form. We will create another form. For what? For this. So create another form. So we have lots of other elements here. Let's comment all of them. So at the end, I want to create a form without any stylings or others. The same way, I want to copy this PHP section. This PHP section. So for time consumption, I will copy them and also have a test. I want to comment this section F and I will create this one. So we have some other fields here that they are not required in our, they are not in our function test input. Let me copy the test input from previous lesson, the function that corresponds to our test input. We have a test input here. Let me copy and paste instead of our own test input because we have created this one, but let's copy this. So now let's head up to our form and check our form that if it exists or not. So we have undefined variable, undefined variable name error. We have some variables that they are undefined. Why they are undefined? Because they are not in the top of our application. They are not in the top of our application. We need to have them on the top. We need to have them on the top of our application. That's why I'll copy this and cutting this one and bringing this at the top before our form. And here I want to copy this one. So now it should be resolved. Now it's resolved. So we have an asterisk here. That means the form fields are required. Fields are required. Let's fill out this one. So we have another. We will. I don't know why they are here. Didn't get the comment. They should be commented. Now let's check. Oh, they are coming. Now we have name, email, and others. If I submit this one, it says name is required, email is required, gender is required. Why we see this? Because in here we did just a validation. We did just some validation. On the top of our page, we defined some variables: name error, email error, gender error, and also website error. Biar bacha da gachara. Anwar. نقل نکرده باشه که. So we have email error, name error, and others. So then we use them if the method is post. If the method is post. But how we can achieve this one? Firstly, we need to have a form that points to the same file. That points to the same file. How we can do this? We can use the server PHP self in the action attribute of our form. Then we echo those errors. We echo those errors. You can put a color to this one. For red one, color red. Oh, color red. For better visibility or for good check now, it's correct. All because name is required. That's an error. If we don't have them, you will not see this error. You will not see this error. Now we don't have this error. But we didn't did anything actually. Just we check it if the form has errors or not. So generally our lesson is to check the required fields on the same file. Check the required fields on the same file. How we can do? Firstly, in the previous instance, we created a function that tests our input and validates that strip slash and also HTML special source. Then returns that to us. Then for getting our inputs and assigning to variables, we use that function and our input as our the function input also using the post. Then we come to our lesson. So our lesson is form required. Form required, what means now we need another variables. Name error, email error, gender error, if one of them are empty. If one of them are empty, then we check if it's empty or not empty. If empty or not empty. Let's examine with blank space. Submit. Now blank spaces accepted as a character. Blank spaces accepted as a character also. Why? Because blank space is also a character. Blank space also a character. We accept this one. Now it says email is required, name is required, but name is not required anymore. Why? Because we have an space. We have an a space in this. So we should avoid that using the HTML special characters. Now this is the form that we examine on this. We just had a span with class error. Errors from Bootstrap. So in this case, it's not from Bootstrap, it's from the W3 CSS. So in Bootstrap also we have errors. We have error. You can use the like alert danger, alert danger. You can copy this section to another ones. Just this place instead of this one. And also you can do your own codings, your own CSS coding for checking the errors. Now let me examine this again. Now they are red. Why? Because we put an alert. That's not good, but now it says email is required. But all of them changes to red. Let Dunge alert outline. Let me put outline for this. I think it's outline. Yeah, now the errors. The pattern is readable, but it has an outline of error, not like a button, completely error. So you can put this one on this. That's styling. You can do your own style. You can create a new Y file. You can create a new file, style.css, style.css, and then inside this CSS, you can create a dot error class and then define the checks like color, red, the borders. You can check for one or maybe green. You can have a color with green. Now you can include that in your test form. You can include that inside your test form. So you have a header, you can include on the header. Go to the includes and then on the header. Then inside this one at the top, link.css. Link dot css file. Style.css. So because our form is outside, or you can use the style.css directly. And now you can have this. So let me remove, I think it's got or not. Style.css. No, yeah, we have it. And also we have this one. So you can remove the classes from here and add your own class. Instead of alert, you can have an error class. You can have error class. Then you can also remove this style from this section. Now let me check. We have the border. So submit. Name is record. Color change it to red. We have red in our style.css. 1px maybe, or maybe 10px. Green. It's not taking, I don't know why. I'm not good in CSS, so let me check the CSS section here and what we have for borders. We have borders, yeah, we have border. Let me check what we have for border. We have a border style, double dash it. Let me border weight and rounded borders. You can have border style, border solid, border weight. Let me border style. You can put a 10px border to this and also a green color. I don't know if it accepts or not. Only it accepts the. So you can use these border styles here. Border weight 25 pixel, 10 pixel and others from both sides. Well, the first one is border top, second one is border right, third one is border bottom, and the fourth one is border left. Let me copy this one, border weight and border style should be solid. And then copy this one and border color, maybe green. So this one should be correct now. Let's see, yeah. We have a border 25 pixel, a text color. That's a lot. You can decrease that to 2 pixel, 1 pixel, 4 pixel, and from the left side, you can put 3 pixels. Now you can see your border. We have a border of this way. So this is CSS. You can learn CSS by your own and put something on that. That's on you. So generally our lesson was about form required fields, not about CSS making designs. Yes. So how you can check for those. Next lesson is form URL and email validations. For URL and email validations, for email we have a filter email. We have a filter email. You can filter validate email for checking if email is correct or not. But if your input type is email, itself checks the email should be correct. The email should be correct. That you can do using filter var. Using filter var, that email is not correct. But why we use this? Sometimes instead of email input, we choose text input for our email. Then we can use this one. But generally, we don't need this one. Why? Because we have the email validation on HTML level itself. Sometimes it's required because some people passes the HTML. Another thing is that you can validate the names using the filters. These are the patterns. You can learn the patterns as a homework. You can go there for checking patterns and writing patterns for your emails. So we'll come on this next lesson with a practical project that's form complete. There's a form complete. You can check this on that and find if there's errors or not errors. So the next chance you will speak on advanced PHP. That's daytime include file handling, file open, read, create, upload, and this. But the other session will come on MySQL databases and also PHP OP that we have, I think, more than 10 days time. I hope you finished all of them, but we hope